फैज में आप यहाँ से अगर तिलावत कर सकें यसअलूनका अहलल किताबी।
जी अच्छी बात। अऊज़ु बिल्लाहि मिनश शैतानिर रजीम। बिस्मिल्लाहिर्रहमानिर्रहीम। يسألك أهل الكتاب أن تنزل عليهم كتابا من السماء فقد سألوا موسى أكبر من ذلك فقالوا أرنا الله جهرة فأخذتهم الصاعقة بظلمهم ثم اتخذوا العجل من بعد ما جاءتهم البينات فعفونا عن ذلك وآتينا موسى سلطانا مبينا ورفعنا فوقهم الطور بميثاقهم وقلنا لهم ادخلوا الباب سجدا وقلنا لهم لا تعدوا في السبت وأخذنا منهم ميثاقا غليظا فبما نقضهم ميثاقهم وكفرهم بآيات الله وقتلهم الأنبياء بغير حق وقولهم قلوبنا غلف بل طبع الله عليها بكفرهم فلا يؤمنون إلا قليلا وبكفرهم وقولهم على مريم بهتانا عظيما وقولهم إنا قتلنا المسيح عيسى ابن مريم رسول الله وما قتلوه وما صلبوه ولكن شبه لهم وإن الذين اختلفوا فيه لفي شك منه ما لهم به من علم إلا اتباع الظن وما قتلوه يقينا بل رفعه الله إليه وكان الله عزيزا حكيما وإن من أهل الكتاب إلا ليؤمنن به قبل موته ويوم القيامة يكون عليهم شهيدا فبظلم من الذين هادوا حرمنا عليهم طيبات أحلت لهم وبصدهم عن سبيل الله كثيرا وأخذهم الربا قد نهوا عنه وأكلهم أموال الناس بالباطل وأعتدنا للكافرين منهم عذابا أليما لكن الراسخون في العلم منهم والمؤمنون يؤمنون بما أنزل إليك وما أنزل من قبلك والمقيمين الصلاة والمؤتون الزكاة والمؤمنون بالله واليوم الآخر أولئك سنؤتيهم أجرا عظيما. صدق الله مولانا العظيم وبلغ رسوله النبي الكريم صلى الله عليه وسلم.
Jazakallah Faiz. Allah give you reward for this beautiful recitation. Today, the chapter we are going to read, inshallah, is again dealing with Ahl al-Kitab. Ahl al-Kitab means people of book, or the Jewish and Christian people. And one of the objection they put, or the questions with Nabi Karim Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, they try to compare it with the Torah that Musa Alayhi Salam received. So if you remember the way Musa Alayhi Salam received Torah, when he led the Exodus out of Egypt, so all the Bani Israelis were with him, they followed him. And over there, when he went to Mount Tur, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala took a covenant from Musa alayhi salam for 40 nights. That means 40 days and 40 nights. He had to go and meditate in this mountain. And after that, Allah, in one shot, gave him the whole of Torah. Torah was a huge volume book. Probably it was in the stone tablet form. So not one, but two people will carry it. So Jews are saying that to Nabi Karim Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam. On the other hand, just like, all the Torah was revealed at one instant to Musa Alayhi Salam after 40 days of meditation in Tur mountain. Now, Nabi Karim Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam received this revelation over the 23 years of period. And they say that why can't we have all the Quran in one day, or why can't you have it? So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is countering that. One of the reasons is right there, that whenever people put criticism on Nabi Karim Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, an object to that, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, according to the situation, is revealing particular ayah. And the first of the ayat was the 5 ayahs that were revealed to Nabi Karim Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam. And they were done in the, a cave, those 5 ayat, and that stayed for 23 years. But Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is saying that you even ask even more demanding questions to the Prophet Musa alayhi salam. What did they ask Musa alayhi salam? Just like they are demanding from Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, why don't you have the revelation in one single instance rather than slowly? So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is countering that and saying that they even ask more stupid question to Musa alayhi salam. They said that we would not believe in your God unless we see him with our own eyes. So this was some of the demand that they have put on Musa alayhi salam. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala continues that what else they did when they demanded. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala showed them one glimpse on one tajalli of that, and all of them, they died because of that. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, as his immense mercy, resurrected them. And another sin they did, not only Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala forgive them after this thing, and they resurrected them and revived them, but again they transgress by making a calf. What they did it, those Musa alayhi salam, those people who were with Musa alayhi salam in Exodus, there was also a sorcerer named Samri. And when Musa alayhi salam for 40 days, he went there to receive the Torah. What Samri did that he took out all the soil where where Jibreel alayhi salam had walk on it, or his they were on his horse. All the foot marking of his horse was there. So he picked up that soil, and he realized that wherever Jibreel alayhi salam foot was falling, that will become the dead soil will become live, will become green. So he picked up all that and constructed a calf made out of metal, and then he put that soil in it and started saying ba ba or whatever the sound a calf would make. And he invited all the Bani Israel to worship him. And Hazrat Musa alayhi salam had left his own brother Harun alayhi salam in charge of those people. And when he came back, and he's after that was a big moment for Musa alayhi salam. Musa alayhi salam had received divine revelation, all of the Torah in one single shot. And when he came back with Torah from the Mount Tur, he realized that his own people are worshipping a cow. So he was so furious, not only at the people, but also at his own brother, Harun alayhi salam. So Harun alayhi salam said that, your people had become so hostile that he feared for his own life. Because if he tried to stop Bani Israel from worshipping this cow or the calf, but they became so hostile that Harun alayhi salam was fearing. So this Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is telling that, what else did they did? First thing they did it, after that they start they started worshipping a cow. Then what they did, another thing, the transgression they did, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gave them not to do any business activity on Sabbath, especially fishing. Like they were for their sustenance, they were fishing. So what they would do, they set up their nets, and they will not do the fishing on Saturday, but will come back Sunday and pull the nets. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala give them a severe punishment for this, just like for when they demanded to see Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala sent lightning on them, and all of them died. But when they transgressed by violating the Saturday fishing rule, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala turned them into all of them in apes and monkeys. So that was another thing. Although they had taken an oath, a covenant, that they will not fish on that. And then they saying that our heart, qulubuna gulf, that means our heart are like ghalaf, or the wrapping on our heart. That means their heart are indeed like. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is saying why their heart are so hardened, because they were doing the kufr, and they did not accept. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala put a seal on their heart, and that's why they did not have inclination. So they had seen the clear signs, that how Musa alayhi salam parted the Nile and let them cross the river Nile, and how he when he asked Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for the food. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala sent manna and salwa from the heaven, and then he performed many miracles. Musa alayhi salam, he put his star, like they had to cross a big desert, and Musa alayhi salam, they did not have any water. So Musa alayhi salam, was told by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to strike his staff on the rock. And when he did that, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala sprang 12 different water sources or different springs from that rock. So these are all the bounties, these are the special favors Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala did on Bani Israel, but they transgressed one after another. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, those Jewish people living in Egypt, they were from the progeny of Yusuf alayhi salam, because Yusuf alayhi salam, he was sold by his brother as a slave, and he ended up in Egypt by becoming a boy slave, and he was sold. But Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala exalted him so much that he became a very confident advisor of the king of Egypt. And but later on, the progeny of Yusuf alayhi salam, their status had reduced nothing to but ordinary labor and slave. So the position Yusuf alayhi salam enjoyed, his progeny. So, if you look at the timeline, there are about 1300 from the exodus of Musa alayhi salam and Harun alayhi salam with his people from the Egypt to the time of Isa alayhi salam. So this incident of exodus took place in 1300 BC, And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala sent prophets after prophet, starting with Harun al-Islam and Aaron al-Islam, or Harun al-Islam. And the last batch of those prophets was Isa alayhi salam, Zakaria alayhi salam, and Yahya alayhi salam. So they were from that last batch of the prophets, as we have read it, this title of Surah Ali Imran. Imran was the Nana or grand father of Isa alayhi salam, and Zakaria alayhi salam was the co-brother-in-law of Imran. He was so they had seen those so many things, and we will read that this last batch of prophets before Nabi Karim Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, what did they do to them? They again, and Allah Subhanahu wa Taala is saying that وَبِكُفْرِهِمْ قَوْلُهُمْ عَلَى مَرْيَمَ بُهْتَانًا عَظِيمًا. So we have read it, the story of Bibi Maryam alayhi salam, that how Isa alayhi salam birth was a miracle. And it started with Zakaria alayhi salam, that this blessed when Bibi Maryam was born, the mother of Bibi Maryam, Hannah, she had said that if a boy is born, I will dedicate that to the service of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in the sanctuary of Jerusalem. But when a girl, Bibi Maryam, was born, she said, oh, the girl is not the same as a boy. So what they did, but she again said that I want to dedicate this child for the service of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And Zakaria alayhi salam, being the khalu or the uncle of Bibi Maryam, and what he did, that he was interested to take care of them. So she would live in a monastery in the Jerusalem, but his own uncle, his own khalu, was the one who will take care of her, teach her about the religion and all that. And one day she was in the chamber, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala sent Hazrat Jibreel alayhi salam in a form of a very beautiful, very handsome young man. And Bibi Maryam, when she saw, so she asked for the refuge with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So Jibreel alayhi salam consoled Bibi Maryam by saying that, do not fear, I'm here to give you a son. So she said, how can I have a son? I'm not married. No man has ever touched me. So that's when Jibreel alayhi salam said that Allah does what he wills. So he blew some air on Bibi Maryam, and she became pregnant. And she left the sanctuary and went to the wilderness in the shade of a date palm tree. And that's where Isa alayhi salam was born. And she was told to shake the date palm, and that's how it was a fruitless date tree, but fruit fell on and she ate, and that's all. But now she was told to go back to the city or the town, and she was again tested again by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala by saying that do not speak. This kind of rosa, or this kind of fasting, is called Some Maryam. That means fasting of Bibi Maryam, in which people are forbidden from speaking something. So she was forbidden to speak anything, and she went back to the town with his baby, Bibi Isa alayhi salam. And now everybody saw Bibi Maryam with a baby, and this Jewish rabbis, they started saying Bhutan on her and say that, what did you do? You are from such a noble family, and what did you do? You are yourself a pious person, and she is from the Ali Imran, but she was told not to say anything. Instead, she pointed out to Hazrat Isa alayhi salam, and baby Isa alayhi salam, he spoke as a baby. And when they saw this miracle, a newborn baby speaking and saying that, I'm the prophet of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and I will, he spoke all those words that, blessed is the day I was born. It is it will come later in the Surah Maida. Blessed is the day I'm born, blessed is the day I die, and blessed is the day I will resurrect. So after seeing that, among many things, the Bhutan, because anybody, I can understand, like, we can understand somebody's seeing a single mother with baby, but when a baby is speaking right from the cradle, that is a clear miracle, and that should have silenced the Jewish rabbis, but that did not happen. They kept, pointing finger at Bhutan, and so this was a charge, a false charge, or Bhutan and Azima. قالهم إنا قتلنا المسيح عيسى ابن مريم رسول الله. And they said that we killed. What happened? That was the miracle of Isa alayhi salam when he was a child. But when he grew up, he performed many miracles. What miracles he performed? That society he grew up in, that was a very much society obsessed with medical sciences. So they had advanced the medical sciences to such a level that they could cure almost all the illnesses, but they were helpless against three kinds of illnesses. What were those three kinds of illnesses? First and foremost, if somebody is born blind, they could not give that person a sight. Second thing was that, if leprosy, that was a dreadful disease at that time, and they could not cure it. So a third one was, if somebody died, they could not resurrect him. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gave Isa alayhi salam the miracle. He could cure the lepers, or the people who are suffering from leprosy, people who had died. He can, again resurrect them, and he could cure the people who are born blind. So when they see this miracle, there were the clear signs. But what they did, all the rabbis and the chief rabbi, what they did, they accused about his, they doubted or they accused falsely about his lineage. Maazallah, they did Bhutan on Bibi Maryam. And although they had seen the clear signs that Isa alayhi salam as a baby spoke, when Bibi Maryam was put on trial by saying that do not say anything, and his own son, his infant son, a newborn son, was speaking on behalf of to defend his own mother. But they again falsely accused that your lineage is doubtful, your bloodline is doubtful and all that. And what they did, when he feared treachery, he selected 12 of his disciples. And among 12 of the disciples, there was one person called Yehuda or Judea. And he betrayed and he conspired against Isa alayhi salam. And when he conspired against Isa alayhi salam, they wanted to actually, the role in the Jerusalem at that time, the rule was with the Roman. Roman had established the rule in most of the Europe, and they had emerged in the city of Rome, the Italian capital Rome, but it had sprang into a big, huge empire, and even the Jerusalem. So they had given the religious freedom to Jewish people, but the rule, the supreme rule was that of a Romans. So when this Jewish rabbis, they said that okay, we are condemning Isa alayhi salam to death because of he's a sorcerer and this like that, all kind of fights, and they went to the Roman authority. And that time the Roman authority or the Roman governor at that time, or the commissioner, whatever that was a person named Pontus. And Pontus, he said it, we do not have anything against Isa alayhi salam or Jesus, but if it is your decision to condemn him. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala saved Isa alayhi salam. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is what he's saying. وَقَالَهُمْ إِنَّا قَتَلْنَا الْمَسِيحَ عِيسَى ابْنَ مَرْيَمَ رَسُولُ اللَّهِ وَمَا قَتَلُهُ وَمَا صَلْبَهُ. So they did not kill him and they did not crucify him. So in their, so what happened? If they did not kill him and if they did not crucify him, what happened? The Judea, who had betrayed Isa alayhi salam, in Urdu we call him Yehuda, and in English they will call him Judea. So when he betrayed him, he was one of the 12 people Isa alayhi salam had selected, and he knew that is of a treacherous nation. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala changed the face of Judea into the face of Isa alayhi salam. So it was the Judea who went on the cross, and so four angels descended where he was saying, and they took him to heavens. And that's what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is saying, that in the next ayat, what they have doubt, because they thought that they had crucified, so they have only nothing but doubts and all that. Inna allazina ikhtalafu fihi lafi shakkin minhum. So since they do not have the precise knowledge, they are just guessing what happened and what did not happen. But Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in Quran is giving the exact knowledge and information what is happening. Ma'lam bihim min ilmin illa ittiba'azan. What they are following is just their doubts and uncertainty. Wama qataluhu yakhina, and indeed they did not kill him. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is saying that they worship Isa alayhi salam and show the image of a cross. But Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, without doubt, they did not kill him. And as Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala explained that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala took him. وَإِمَّنْ أَهْلَ الْكِتَابِ إِلَّا لِيُؤْمِنَ بِهِ قَبْلِهِ مَوْتًا وَيَوْمَ الْقِيَامَةِ يَكُونَ عَلَيْهِمْ شَهِيدًا. And there's also indication in this ayat about his second coming. Isa alayhi salam will come back into this world before the end of the time, and his time will coincide with the arrival of Hazrat Mahdi alayhi salam. So Mahdi alayhi salam will emerge he will be from somewhere in Persia. He was from Khorasan. And there are very precise things about Mahdi alayhi salam. Mahdi alayhi salam, when he will emerge in Makkah performing Hajj or Umrah, and he will be wearing yellow robes. Usually Hajis, they wear white clothing, but he will be wearing yellow one. He will be 40 years of age when people will find him, and he will be originally from Khorasan, but his name will be Muhammed, and his father name will be Abdullah, and his mother name will be Amina, and he will be from the progeny of Nabi Karim Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam. And when he will be found, all the major ulmas, they will come and testify him that this is Mahdi alayhi salam, and they will testify that this is Mahdi, and he will have a stutter in his tongue. So many signs, like there have been a lot of false Messiah and a lot of false Mahdi who claim, but none of them fit the description. In the recent time, like 100 years ago, it was Ghulam Ahmed Qadiani. He claimed that he's Mahdi, but to begin with, he's not from the progeny of Nabi Karim Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam. His name was not Muhammad. His name was Ghulam Ahmed. And another sign that he did not have any stutter in his tongue. Mahdi alayhi salam will have a stutter in his tongue, and when he will try to speak, and because of stutter, he will be so much frustrated, he will slap his right hand on his left thigh out of frustration when he would not be able to speak properly. And all the Islamic world, all the major scholars will testify that this is Mahdi alayhi salam. And then he will accept the leadership of all the Muslim Ummah. And shortly after that, Isa alayhi salam will descend into Syria. And Mahdi alayhi salam and Isa alayhi salam will meet each other. And when they will meet each other, when the time for the namaz will come, so Mahdi alayhi salam will offer Isa alayhi salam that you lead the namaz and I will pray behind you. But Isa alayhi salam then said that you lead the namaz and I will pray behind you. So Mahdi alayhi salam will lead the namaz and Isa alayhi salam will pray behind him. And at that time, two of the fitnas will emerge. One fitna will be that of a Yajuj Majuj, and another fitna will be of Masih ad-Dajjal. So Mahdi alayhi salam will go and confront Masih ad-Dajjal, and Isa alayhi salam will go and fight Yajuj Majuj, and they will manage to kill him. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is saying that before his death, Isa alayhi salam, when he come back, he will live and he will pass away just like all the previous prophets. But when he died, all the people, like it will be a time because of Mahdi alayhi salam and Isa alayhi salam that all the world will accept Islam. Because I do not know, Allah knows the best, but all the Christendom, when they will see Isa alayhi salam and its return, they will convert to the Islam, and Mahdi alayhi salam will unite all the Muslim Ummah. So that's how maybe all the, but Allah knows the best. There's no detail about that. But Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam foretold about that time that, almost all the world will accept Islam. And not will be a single household. There will not be, Iman will not reach. So, and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, that's what it says. وَإِن مِّنْ أَهْلِ الْكِتَابِ لَا يُؤْمِنَّ بِهِ قَبْلُ مَوْتَهُ. And before he passed away, يَوْمَ الْقِيَامَةِ وَيَكُونُ عَلَيْهِمْ شَهِيدًا, and he will be the witness. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is saying that another thing. فَبِظُلْمِهِمْ مِنَ الَّذِينَ حَادُوا حَرَّمْنَا عَلَيْكُمْ طَيِّبَاتٍ أُحِلَّتْ لَهُمْ بِصَدِّهِمْ عَنْ سَبِيلِ اللَّهِ كَثِيرًا. And Jewish, as we say that people, they had transgressed into many things. So some of the halal and tayyib food that should have been halal on them, Allah as a punishment forbade them not to eat it. So now they eat very restricted food. Like in their Shariat, it was forbidden to eat the camel meat. It was forbidden to eat anything from the hind legs of the sheep and all that. And that's why, but it was not that it is unlawful to eat camel meat or the hind legs, but it was a punishment on Jewish people for their transgression. And what is that? وَأَخَذُهُمُ الرَّبَاهُ وَقَدْنَهُ عَنْهُ وَأَكْلَهُم مِّنَ الْأَمْوَالِ بِالْبَاطِلِ وَأَعْتَدْنَا لِلْكَافِرِينَ مِنْهُمْ عَذَابًا أَلِيمًا. And what they would do, they will take interest dealing. So what happened? Bible, both in the Old Testament and New Testament. So Old Testament being the Torah and New Testament being the Injil. So in that, just like in Quran, it says that, we have permitted the trade, but we have forbidden the interest bearing deal. So in the Europe, all before the Industrial Revolution, they would follow that. They will not do any money lending business. But Jewish people, they had found some loophole around it according to the Shariat, and they started money lending business. So money lending business was not done by Christians. Was considered an illegal business or haram business to do the money lending and all those sahukari business. So only Jewish people would do. So when the Industrial Revolution happened and these money lenders became the bankers, so that got them boost from lowly money lenders. They became, sort of respected banker. And in 1930s, there was a big depression in which a lot of properties went bankrupt. So these money lenders had become bankers in, Industrial Revolution time, and then they became the industrialists in 1930s when the Great Depression hit. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala point out to them that, among many things, they were into the money lending business and they will deal with the interest bearing thing. But among them, there were still people who know the exact knowledge. So we cannot say it is not to promote anti-Semitism, because among Jewish people, they were good people who had good understanding of book, and they were the pious people, and they would believe in the right thing and the hereafter. So again, Jewish scriptures, they had the same believe in one God, giving the charity or almsgiving, and to establish the namaz, their own form of namaz. And these were the things, and those who were righteous people among them, they had to follow that to that letter. And those people who did that, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will give them a great reward very soon. So inshallah, I will stop here, and if there's any questions or comments, please welcome that.